Hi, Andrew. Okay, so first I'll say I just took these out. I took these out. These are the Pentaires that were the longer ones. I'll say one thing. First of all, we have run it with the Pentaires for probably 10 hours, I guess. And I got a notice on the screen that said the filters are plugged, or could use replacing. And I have not seen that for months. So that indicates, I would think that means these new filters are sealing a bit better. Or maybe that shows that the old ones weren't sealing. Anyway, I've taken them out, dumped them out. I also noticed, this is the 20, that has a bit of maybe a twist. And again, I've never seen, or like maybe a compression. I've never seen that before. The 5 doesn't have it. These are straight. Also, look at how clean these are. I've never seen filters come out this clean before. Yeah, the 5 in particular just looks almost brand new after 10 hours. So my point is, I got the filter clean notice, which means there must have been a pressure differential, and they look clean. Whereas in the past, I would not get a filter clean notice, and I would go and clean them anyway, and they would be filthy dirty. They'd be caked up. So there's that. Okay, so to answer your questions, does the bottom of the housing have the groove sticking up for the filter to sit into? Yes, the bottom of the housing has two grooves, actually. Two rings that stick up, a bigger one and an outer one and an inner one. Okay. Both housings have this. They're the same. Okay. So that's that answer. I just took some calipers and measured the lip coming down from the top of the housing lid. Okay. I assume you mean these. Housing lid. And the inner lip was 0.55 inches and the outer lip was 1 inch. Okay, I don't have calipers and I don't have a ruler that starts at 0. So this is going to be a little challenging. I'll try it like this. So I think you mean inner lip and outer lip. I think you mean inner lip and outer lip. These two lips, I think. So let's the lip coming down from the top. So I think you mean off of this grid here. Is that right? From the grid to the lips. So that I can actually not measure with this very well. I can do the inner one by lining that up, and I would say that, yeah, that's half an inch, more than half an inch, and well, that's less than an inch. This is pretty imprecise measuring. What I could do, so here's my other idea. I measure where the 0 is on this, and I'm going to use centimeters now because they're probably more accurate. So if I measure, so from the end of this to the 0 is exactly 5 millimeters. Bang on 5 millimeters. So whatever I read on this, I'm going to add 5 millimeters. So we set this down. We try and look, and again, I can't really see that precisely, but I'm going to say that's I'm going to say that's reading about 1. Okay, and we're going to add 5, so let's call that 6 millimeters. And then, now this is way less precise, but I'm going to say the taller lip is at 10. So we'll call that, no, it's more than 10. No, that's more like 14. 14 plus 6 or plus 5. So 14 plus 5, 19. So we've got, so the outer lip, we'll call it 6 millimeters, and the inner lip, we'll call it 19 millimeters. Okay, so so 6 millimeters to inches is 0.23, and 19 millimeters to inches is 0.74. Okay, so those are not 0.55 and 1. So maybe I'm measuring from the wrong spot. I don't, maybe I'm misunderstanding your email. And then measuring down here in these housings, I just can't do that. I don't think there's any way I can do that. Well, no, maybe I can, maybe I can. Okay, so let's say, I'll just try the big one. So, you know, if that's the bottom, I'm getting 254 millimeters, and if that's up there, I'm getting 242. So 254 minus 242, that's a difference of 12 millimeters. And 12 to inch, 0.47. So my inner lip is coming up 0.47, and you said your inner lip is coming up 0.56. Maybe that's different, or maybe it's just my crappy ruler. The outer lip, 1/4 of an inch. We'll try that one. So 254, same as before. 248. So that's a difference of 4 millimeters. No, that's a difference of 6 millimeters. And 6 millimeters to inch is 0.23. So almost 1/4 of an inch. So that one, you said 1/4 and I said 0.23. So that's pretty close. So we'll try that. So I think that's the best I can do. The other thing that I was going to try is taking off an O-ring. And trying one of these old filters that were rattling before. Okay, that's definitely tight. And actually I can see there's no threads there. Okay, I'm going with no filter. So this one has an O-ring. And so, yeah, there's definitely at least a 1/16 of an inch there, and I mean, that's tight again. And yeah, so there's a 16th, so it tightens up more. Like this one I did by hand, this one I did with a wrench. And the one by hand is tighter without the O-ring. Except of course it'll probably leak. That one is super tight, it barely comes off. And so let's try my old, this is my old Spectra brand filter with an O-ring. So yeah, I mean this looks like it should fit there, right? That looks like it should fit. It feels like it should be on the bottom. And yet, and this one has an O-ring. It is rattling. If I crank this tight. It is still rattling, okay? There's no question that that is loose. On the other hand, oh, I already put it in. Did I put this in? Yeah, this one is in without an O-ring. Hand tight. No rattle. So, is it possible that these O-rings are too thick? Is that possible? I mean, I can still feel silicone grease on here, so it's not that they're not greased enough. I mean, you can see, there's actually now silicone on my fingers, so that's not an issue. So is it that these O-rings are like slightly too big? I don't know. It's, I mean, I don't think this should be, okay, maybe, here's a question. Can I get these to tighten and not rattle? That's rattling. That's rattling. Okay, they're all rattling. Like, that does not go tighter. That does not go tighter. They're still rattling. So, you know, maybe if I crank on this to the point of breaking this, maybe I could get them to stop rattling, but to me that's out of spec. You can't have it, I mean, the manual doesn't say tighten the filter housings until the filter wrench snaps because you've put 100 foot-pounds of torque on it. Like, you would expect it to be a reasonable amount. So, anyway. That's where we're at today. I'm going to, so I got a filter clean notice on the screen, so I have 2 new filters, which are also Pentair, and they are noticeably taller. You know, at least 1/8 of an inch taller. That one, and let's try this one. Same thing, at least 1/8 of an inch taller. So anyway, we'll put those in. I'll rinse this out with fresh water first, but I'll put those in and then we'll put it back together and we'll run it. And then you want me to do to check the terminal block closest to the SureFlow pump. I'll see if I can get a reading, because I did, yeah, right where those crimp connectors are with the fan, where it goes into the fan and the pump. I'll see if I can get a I jammed my things in there, see if I can get a voltage reading there when it's running. Although that does not explain the high feed pressure. I'm more worried about the high feed pressure than I am about low production at this point, but okay. Okay, I just noticed one other thing in the sunlight here. Okay, we talked about the inner lip and the outer lip, and the inner lip's supposed to go inside, and the outer lip, I guess, is supposed to sit on this flat part right here. So these two Pentair filters that are the tight ones, now the shadow comes, but I can see, these are the ones we ran for about 10 hours, I can see where the outer lip was touching there, and there. You can't see that one, but anyway, the point is we have an outer lip that's left a mark on these, and these ones, there are no such marks. Now it could be that the outer lip aligns perfectly with this groove. These grooves are in a different spot, but anyway, I see no such marks, which means these were not touching the outer lip, but these were touching the outer lip. So that's one more piece of information. That's it.